I've been on YouTube a long time, and I've seen my fair share of CSGO warmup videos, and 95% of them are trash. One, people don't understand the distinction between warming up and practicing. Two, the majority of warmups only focus on aim, which is only one of many components behind your gameplay. So I've been crafting my own warm-up routine that I've been using for a long time, and it helps ensure that when I go into game, I don't feel like there's any movement that I should be able to do that I can't do. If you're looking for aim training or anything like that, this isn't the video for you, and I can make one on that in the future. If you want, you can just leave a comment down below. But in this video, I'm going to show you what works personally best for me and what a lot of pros are doing to warm up. The first thing you want to do is download this workshop map called CSGO Hub. It's kind of like your classic aim bots map, but with a lot more utility behind it. I like to break down what parts of my gameplay I'm moving and then incorporate it all together. The first thing I like to do is just make the bots spawn near me, and then without even moving, I just go for 100 headshot kills, one tapping, taking my time from moving from opponent to opponent, making sure I'm not overcorrecting, just going for classic shots, not trying to be the quickest flicks in the world. I do this for about 100 kills. Also, hey, video editor Tristan here, but you don't have to do all these down to the specific kills that I'm saying. I just did it like this, that way you can have a specific example for a certain amount of kills, and this is generally what I go for, but you don't have to be going for the exact number. All right, back to the video. Once you've hit 100 kills, I like to move on to 100 spraying body shots. You can do some transfers. This just helps make sure that your spray control is also warm. And if you're doing this super consistently, it helps build some muscle memory. After I get 100 headshots without moving and 100 body shots without moving, I like to start incorporating my movement into my kills. So I then go for 50 headshots. We'll just counter strafing, not doing anything insane, doing some crouching, just trying to get the regular motion that I would be doing in game, doing a little bit of tapping, a little bit of spraying. Also, while I'm doing my headshot kills, I like to incorporate the A1S, basically just any rifle that I would be using in game. So I do this for about 50 more kills. I then do the exact same thing, but now I'm just spraying at bodies. One, helping warm up my movement, making sure my hands are working together, my movement is working to help support my aim. Because while a lot of people think that all of your aim is just done with your mouse, a lot of it is utilizing your movement to help set up your aim for the proper engagements. After I do 100 body sprays, I like to move on to the op. At this point, I'll add some players to the middle distance spawn. And here, I'm just making sure I'm going for big flicks, ones that you probably wouldn't even go for in game. It just helps ensure that I'm getting a full range of motion on what I'm warming up. So that way, if I do run into an engagement where I need to hit a big flick, my arm is already going to be warm for that. So I like getting about 25 of just these flick kills to help, one, warm up how it feels to use an op, and two, just really get my full range of motion down. Then after those 25 op kills, I turn off head armor and I move on to warming up my pistols. In Counter-Strike, you're going to be playing with every gun a little differently. There's going to be some minute differences, and just practicing warming up with every weapon that you think you'll be using in game is ultimately what's going to prepare you the best. So I do about 50 kills with the USP. I do about 50 kills with the Glock. You can do some running shots, basically any way that you'd be using the gun in game. After I've gotten 50 kills with the Glock, I like to move on to the deagle. The deagle is a great example of why you want to try using a bunch of different guns in your warm-up, because it has a certain timing to it before you should be shooting again. Of course, you can spray like this and your bullets are going to go all over the place, but if you warm up and you have the timing down, you can be accurate in all of your shots. So I just like to go for some headshot kills with the deagle, try and hone in my timing on how long it takes for the bloom to reset, and just make sure I'm feeling comfortable. Then after doing all this, I like to put this to rush, set this down to just 2 bots, focus on just being precise, killing each bot as you should, figuring out what I want to be spraying like, how quickly I want to be tap firing. I do this pretty generally until I'm feeling comfortable. You can of course switch to the A1S and other weapons that you're using. For this, it's helpful to keep head armor on, because likely if you're on a rifle round, so are your opponents, and they're going to be buying head armor. So it's just good practice. I see a lot of people spending an hour, 2 hours warming up. You don't need to do that. You can spend an hour practicing, but your warm up shouldn't be making you tired. After I've done that, I like to go over to this movement category and hop into KZ. I just like to do this one map in its entirety. It's relatively easy. The jumps aren't super hard, but also in game, you don't need to be hitting the craziest long jumps. This just helps me make sure that all my mechanics are in check. What I love about this server is how it forces you to warm up even stuff down to your ladder movement. It's just helpful at making sure that there's no corner left unturned. After I do KZ, I can type .L. After I've warmed up my movement and my aim independently, I like to utilize the Prefire to help make sure that it's all coming together cohesively in game. This gives me the opportunity to pre-aim corners, be mindful about where I'm shooting, and how I want to be taking my engagements. I like to just go through all the Prefire maps once, get me comfortable with angles that I'll probably have to check and clear frequently in these games. But yeah, that's essentially it. You shouldn't be spending an hour doing your warm-up. It should be something quick, 15, 20 minutes, something you can get out of the way. There's no level of bot that is going to compare to the top level players in competitive. If you guys do want to see another video on how I recommend you practice your aim and practice your movement, then feel free to leave a comment. But this has been my warm-up routine. I hope it helps you guys out a little bit. I hope you learned something that you can apply to how you warm up. Even if you don't copy the routine exactly, I hope there's something you could take away. And I appreciate your guys' support. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.